On Romanticide, I like Romanticide as a map, especially PvZ. Feels like there's a lot of avenues, right, for the Lurkers. It's not easy for them to run around. The Zerg usually forced into a bit of a longer game. But then it still has these other areas just outside where suddenly you have a lot of openings, right? A lot of areas where you can get a good surround going. So, yeah, I really like the map for this one. Especially between two titans of esports, especially the StarCraft 2 scene, of course. In the bottom right side, the Afrika Freaks player. He's in the blue. Playing with the Protoss. The peace places. He is Trap. The police Protoss place. Pleases. Alright, well, lovely. Bungled. Top left side, the red Zerg player. Fighting for the Dragon Phoenix Gamers. He is Rogue. So, I mean, we've seen Rogue play, we've seen Trap play. Definitely was a bit of a mix-up from, well, just in styles overall between, well, Rogue and Ragnarok. I think the main important thing to notice was that Ragnarok, a lot more aggressive, seemed to be very willing to just kind of go with a ton of Banelings and Hydras, hit a timing on top of the Protoss before they really have every asset of that army which they need, right? You need to have the Void Race. You need to have the High Templar with the Storm. Maybe the Disruptors as well, but there is something else that just is required to be within there as well, just to kind of tank up the damage from whether it be the Banelings, whether it be the Hydralisk. Something needs to be there. Now, that could be Immortals, Archons, stuff like this, right? We've seen people try to incorporate that type of stuff within the Void Ray army as well. But it just, yeah, it still seems like a bit of a struggle. I'm personally not the biggest fan of the Disruptors that we saw there from Mr. Sound, but we'll have to wait and see if Trap is going to be doing something similar here, perhaps, right? Trap. He is an innovator, of course, as well. Likes to get his hands into things. Get them dirty. And in a place like this, could be a good point to try some stuff out, right? See how it hits a real, live, pretty darn strong Zerg such as Rogue. Sticking at home once more with these depths. Being very careful with this, with the adepts here today, these Protoss. Little circling, mucking about. The droning just kind of continues there for Rogue now. Being like, alright, Void Ray, yeah, okay. No adepts, you say? Alright, well, let's do this. Hit that D button. Gotta make sure that still works. Getting a creep tumor there, not bad. Not really finding much of anything else with the adepts. The Oracle comes in. This may get a couple. Gets one, two. Doesn't get two. Queen's coming in a bit too quickly. Oracle movements. Perhaps not the cleanest we've ever seen from Trap, of course. I think he just barely thought he would get that final tap on the drone there. Maybe twice, actually, and didn't quite get it. Before he moves away. Cancelling the entire shot, of course. Or the ticking damage. So, 2 workers in total. I mean, the Void Ray helping out there as well. It's kind of neat. It's going to help out now with getting rid of these creep tumors. Lovely. And with this, what do we have for... Did I see? Okay, yeah, it is the Twilight Count. Yeah. Alright, so it's a bit of both Robo Facility and the Templar Archives. We've seen Trap the previous time, of course, try to incorporate a ton of Zealots. So his way to try and get this approach to work is make the Void Ray, then make a ton of Zealots with the... maybe some Archons there as well. The previous time we saw him just go into High Templar and try to get the Storm immediately. Maybe that's the approach that you need. It could be, but he never quite managed to get a good amount of Zealots on the ground just quite yet. Is Rogue going to put up as much pressure as we saw Ragnarok do at those crucial moments in time where the Protoss is preparing a massive movement towards military production, and then suddenly there's already all these Hydras out on the map, right? Could be a potential threat. Couple of Archons being constructed. I like that already a bit better than trying to get the High Templar. Of course you need to get a High Templar, but a little bit of a buffer in between from just the Void Race to Void Race with the High Templar. This is a good in-between. It's not... Okay, I'm surprised how well he's doing in this fight here for how long he's sticking in as well. That's a big whopping of Zealots, so that's why he's sticking in here. As the two Archons alive as well. Nice pick-up micro, being to blame for that. But kind of losing control of his units here also. The Void Race and the Archons desynchronized with what the rest of the army was doing there. Some units still attacking the hatchery, some units chasing an Overseer. Trap starting to do other things while that was going on. Maybe anticipating that it would have been okay for a little bit. But might mean that he's not going to get that fourth base kill now. Which was looking quite likely. Oracle just being a bit of a nuisance. Distracted, does get taken out. That can be a big deal. Alright, this is very similar to how we saw John kind of play this as well. John really wants that hatchery. Wants to try and get in between. Oh wow, those lawsuits, they are pretty good for a moment until they're not anymore. Zealots will have to move backwards. There we go, there goes the hatchery. Finally will be able to wiggle his way into a favorable place. Lovely. That's all he wanted to do there, Trap. Satisfied with the kill, will be moving back home. And Rogue here, having to lick his wounds. In a painful situation here, trying to rebuild a fourth base when you're like, well, really needed that to hold. Did he trade inefficiently as well? Yeah, no, well, kinda, right? Considering that he's behind on bases now. In particular, that is not what you need to have. The creep spread, yeah, the creep spread could be a lot better also. That is definitely not something I'm going to argue against. Trap has been doing a pretty good job with the denial of creep as well, though, to be fair, right? He had the Oracle with the Void Ray roaming around for a long time. Was doing a great job with it overall. I mean, over here, look, that has no active creep to me now. That was killed off a while ago. Ooh, a lot of the Zealots there. Beautiful connections with the Banelings, and I think this should be enough here, perhaps, for Rogue now to hold. Oh, the storms do make the waters a bit muddy, though. Will still be enough. There's a storm getting whiffed, actually. Are the Archons high enough in number and in HP? The Zealots slowly wiggling their way for the Hydras, desperately trying to stay out of the range of those Archons as well. Will be good to get some little poke damage on them so they don't start regenerating as well, of course. There we go. That's a bit good poke. 2 Archons down. I think Rogue's done it, guys. I think Rogue will remain in this for a little bit longer. Losing 7 workers, but might be able to get those 2 Archons though, right? That's solid. Are Archons quicker than Hydras off of creep? Apparently they are. That is disappointing. Oh, okay. Wow. Somehow, some way, Rogue pulling through here. Starting up the infestation pit. Fleet Beacon also coming up for trap though. Not sitting still himself on his tech tree. And is a little bit sitting still and expanding as he has 26 out of 19 workers right there on that base. It's a bit oversaturated. It's slightly overvalued, but we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. Maybe try get himself another base going, of course. Good attack on the top, it looks like, as well. Quite a few units taking part. Might just be to open up supply for the air army, but I'm looking at the bank and I'm looking at the supply. It's not really necessary to open up any supply. That is an interesting move, actually, from Trap. I'm not sure what he just did. That almost felt like just gifting away army, and now losing a lot of probes as well due to a Baneling run by. Rogue didn't even have everything at home, and he still crushed it that convincingly. That is worrisome. That is worrisome indeed. That army, it almost felt like he split up his army, but I don't think he did. I think that was actually everything Trap had. Unless if it's still at home. Does he have units? Let me take a look. Does he have units here? A couple of Zealots. Not that much. Thought he still had another main force elsewhere, but... Oh, Storm drops. That's nice. 7 kills. Pretty good. Blink about to complete. DT Shrine. +3 attack. The Mothership. Good things are still happening here for Trap. But he does seem to be quite a bit behind. More Banelings. Look at that. Oh, that is going to be rough. The probe's actually blocking off the pathway to the other probes there for quite a while. So that's working. Oh, God. Oh, bollocks. That is rough. Into the defenses as well. Just take it down with you, why won't you? 23 probes. Okay, I mean, at a certain point... You're just gonna have to say, alright, well, here goes nothing. And go across the map with every bloody thing you got. You may as well bring the probes along as well, Trap, because I don't think we're gonna have anything else happen here. If we had, then you're gonna wish you had brought the probes, because then that means maybe there wouldn't have been. Oh, some pretty good storms, keeping a lot of the Banelings away. There's the Mothership. But, oh, no, those... connections are absolutely massive. While Prism coming in as a key player. Couple of storms hitting their mark. And the Mothership somewhat providing quite a bit of tanking there as well. A lot of the Hydras attacking that instead of anything else. Zealots in trouble. The Overseers have been taken out. A new Overseer is going to have to be constructed. And that's it, GG. Wow. What? What? I'm not sure what happened there, guys. I'm not entirely certain how that felt that quickly. That was rough. That was rough. I thought it was in a great position. I didn't think Trap had enough units to really just break that, but that was such a close fight there in the end. I swear, if you had like just a bit of extra supply for Rogue, or just a bit of better control, maybe. Just remix, yeah. Yeah, letting that base go, probably not the worst case. I suppose he would have most likely then lost that other base that was being constructed as well towards the left. But still, best of three, best of three. Wow, okay, thought he lost one, but he's still in it. Still going strong. In the top right side, we got ourselves a blue Protoss player fighting for the Afrika Freaks. Trap. We're going to see a rematch between him and Zaun. We'll have to wait and see. The bottom left side, the red Zerg player fighting for the Dragon Phoenix Gamers. He is Rogue. Alright. I mean, he got really close. He got really close. It just wasn't close enough. Just wasn't close enough. Just really not close enough. Which is a shame. Probe. Doing the probing. Natural base in the natural, though. That's nice for Rogue. That's a good one. Okay. What a throw. I mean, that definitely felt like a throw. I might have to look at it again, but it felt like a great position for him to be in. And then to just let it slide out of your grip like that. Oof. Oof. Still no Twilight Council today. Not a single time. We could go through an entire bracket filled with PvZ without a single adept glaive attack. Yeah, there we go. Again, the Stargate is coming in. I mean, if this doesn't indicate the end of times here, I don't know what is. He wasn't paying attention to Rogue's bank last game. Wonder how much money he had. Yeah. Well, I mean, he ran out in the end, but still. He had a solid drone count, though, so he would have been able to get it back. I think, at least. Right? Just a bit more careful in that engagement. Probably would be able to make it work. And then not having any overseers anymore either in that final engagement. That is so rough. That's about as rough as it gets. That pretty much is the roughest of the rough. The low of the low. It's not going to get any worse than that. Void Ray Express right onto your front door of your overlords, I suppose. Oracle follow-up as Rogue not yet making his attention is very clear. Not that much gas being taken, Assuming we're gonna see some Hydra play here. Could still be well, Roach is a little bit late right now, so we'd assume we're gonna go straight into the Hydralisk with the setup of Rogue, what it looks like. Second Stargate's coming up. Still committing to the Void Race as well, so should be that. All right. Good scouts here from Rogue, figuring out the important insider information. So he's starting to push across with a couple of those queens. I wonder where they're supposed to be going. Still being spotted by that Oracle as well. Bit awkward, not gonna lie. There's the Hydra then. Just as anticipated. That's where he would like this game to go. Overall macro states, I suppose. Is there already a clear advantage here? I mean, Trap's army is quite strong, right? That is the scary part here for Rogue. He managed to get a reasonable amount of drones here. It's not fantastic just quite yet, but he managed to get pretty high up in drone supply relatively quickly. So that's a good thing for him. Will he be able now to make his army before he starts taking significant damage? And will he be able to still incorporate some droning in there as well? Because he still has some growing to do, right? Needs to get a bit bigger with the economy. That is a marvelous, that was fantastic Spore Crawler placements right there. Don't see that every day. Synchronized Spore Crawler swimming going on here through the creep. At least he got some creep spread going this game. Yeah, he's doing pretty good with the creep spread this time. Void Race bulking up once more. And going straight for the Storm upgrade once again. I mean, fair enough. It does feel a little bit exposed still to me, but that was with Ragnarok doing an absolute brilliant job with the spreading of his units. And avoiding death with most of them against those storms. Which is what it would be with a mispositioned pre-battle Zerg army, of course. But yeah, Ragnarok not having any of that. No difficulties there being had by him. Alright. Lurkers are going to be a part of this battle pretty soon. Trap not really poking out that much. I thought he would try to make a move a little bit sooner, but still just kind of chilling at home. Bilfen, well, we'll see. We'll see. Static defense quite important after all. It is a bit of a you attack me first kind of meta. So, you know what? It's a lot of run-bys as well happening right now. For the Zerg as their main strategy. It's good to have a good amount of cannons and shield batteries along the way. Shoot down the banelings and the zerglings. And Rogue's building his own static defense as well, right? There we go. Not bad, not bad. Rogue needs to keep this army alive, of course. Losing a queen in the middle. It's all going to come down to a... well, kind of a game of who will be able to get themselves the better position on the map here. Fighting for these corner sides. There's always a big line, but the line must always be weak at some place. That's the place they're trying to find here. It's only 200 supply worth of units you can have. That 200 supply worth of units needs to make it happen on all locations. So looks like Rogue actually may find himself in a confident enough position to start pressing his advantage. Pushing into the path of retreat for the army of Trap. Sending a couple of Hydras into the path of reinforcements as well. Not bad play. But it seems that Trap just barely manages to kind of squeeze on by there on the sides. Rogue finding difficulty, it seems, to really keep that momentum forward going here. Not quite trying to press his advantage either. I guess those two choke points he's found himself in front of the base of Trap here still quite advantageous, bringing along the Spore Crawlers as well. It's a lot of Zealots on the back foot. They did get sniped out. Archon's going down as well. Looking really solid here for Rogue, who's pressing further and further forward with that creep. See if he goes for it once again. Where is that creep tumor spreading towards? Oh, that's just right next to the other one. Alright. Fair enough. Utilizing the queens here mostly for transfuse. Not spreading out too quickly with that creep. Mostly just wants to maintain a good bit of well-balanced trading for himself. Luke is getting closer and closer to the Nexus. That's the main goal here, of course. But it's taking such a long time. Wonder if it's almost going to be mined out as soon as it actually arrives, the attack. He's mining a lot after all. Okay, there we go. Lucas getting a bit further ahead. Trying to figure out what kind of army he's up against, what the situation is like. Gets himself to... Alright, well, yeah, 2 units. Void Ray and an Archon. May need to replenish the energy on those Vipers right now, though. That seems to be the case in this base. Okay, gets evacuated. The probes got released into the wild. The Nexus, well, there's going to be some Yorkshire pudding there for the Zerg today. Hatchery on the other side, though, as well. Being found out. A couple of Zealots. More than enough to strike some economy down for Rogue as well here. A quick comeback maneuver. The carrier numbers are increasing rather rapidly also, and that has me a bit worried because the Hydra count is not that impressive. We have the Vipers here, but we do not have any Infestors with this battle either. So it's going to be quite difficult to really get yourself in a great fight against those carriers, of course. And honest, quite scary army composition right there. Oh, great harpoons. That's a good start. Gets 2 of them. It's the value you are looking for. Slowly but surely gaining more and more of an upper hand. It's just going to go straight ahead, actually. Screw steady and surely. Let us just make use of the creep that is still available right now. Right underneath our feet. Was it an overextension, though? It's starting to look like it. The Hydralisk on the right side, they seem to be okay, though. Not that many Interceptors still left standing. The Queen's not managing to utilize their transfuse optimally, but that's a lot of Zealots on them as well, though, to be fair. Suddenly, Rogue once again, you know what, looking like he was making some good moves, getting ahead in certain areas. Suddenly, just the rug gets pulled underneath from him. And Trap manages to just kind of keep on pushing forwards. He may be dead. He may very well be dead, guys. Yeah. It's a shame. It's a shame. But yeah, I mean, how many carriers do we have right now? It's 6 carriers. There's 2 more on the way. At this point, there's just no chance that you're going to beat that with Hydralisk without Microbial Shroud on top of them as well. Storm, of course, still will be a problem, but at least that's just one major source of damage that the Protoss is dishing out instead of just, well, multiple. Alright, again a run by on top of the drones here on the left side. Just a little bit further to the left. I guess he doesn't want to show us. That's fine. That is all good, as there is another attack coming in here on the right. No response there from Rogue, is just going to let it go. Running across the map actually with some of his units. I don't mind that idea. It might be one of the final ways for him to actually get something done here, but that is a massive recall. Oh my, that is not getting anything done. Oh boy, oh boy. Okay, well, I mean, the rest of the army here for Rogue is also coming in. Maybe he will be able to force a fight, which is kind of what he seems to be wanting to do. He's quite far ahead on that army supply right now. Close to 30, sometimes leading into 40 range. Though he is losing a couple of units here. A lot of lurkers on top of that other base. And Trap trying to make up his mind as to where he will be going. How he's going to be trying to deal with this situation here. Already losing one base, and right now very likely that he will lose another. Going to be put back to 3 bases here. Not really get a real punch into the army of Rogue either. I guess these lurkers actually, those lurkers are quite a sacrifice, but it seems like Rogue overall with his bank is doing alright. Was it too much though? Was it too much still? There's no more storms though, to be fair. I mean, no storms at all. The problem is no Microbial Shroud either. Those Hydras, they are melting. GG is called, and man. Kept going back and forth there a little bit, but